Okay, well, welcome back to another episode of Talking with Tanya. In this episode, I brought two of my very good friends on with me, and today's topic is on religion, spirituality, our beliefs, right? Um, I'm trying to start my episodes with like sharing life updates. Like
Okay.
what's life been like for me, I guess, because it has been 3 weeks since I posted last. So I think it's just the holidays that's been keeping me busy. I started Wine app, which is you need a budget app to help me with my finances, and I feel like that alone is taking a lot of my time. Yeah. I don't know. As far as work has been going, it's pretty good. I feel like I'm getting along with everybody. Oh, and I wanted to make an announcement. So I've been so busy lately with just life in general, and I've been wanting to look for an unpaid intern. So if anyone's interested, I will be including a link in the description below to apply. And I'm not really looking for anybody who's like a professional, because I feel like if you really have the drive and you're passionate about something, like you can make anything happen.
Yeah.
And you can learn as you go. Like with me and my podcasting, I had no experience prior to this, but I feel like I've come a long way, right? So yeah. So if anyone's interested, I'll put the link down in the description below. I'll be conducting interviews, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I guess how I wanted to start this off was like by asking, what are our beliefs? What do we? Oh, no. Before this, I do want to like set the tone. I feel like this is a discussion of exploration, not persuasion. We're not trying to convince each other.
Yeah.
I think I just want to put out there what we
We're
believe
just thinking
in.
out loud.
Well, yeah, there you go. Question each other, like,
Yeah.
oh, why do you think the way you do? Because like I feel like this is a very controversial topic, and I feel like it can get and not with you guys. I feel very safe with you guys, but just in general, I'm speaking
It's
generally.
a sensitive topic.
Yeah, that and like with previous experiences with people and their beliefs, they can get very protective over them, and that can come out nasty sometimes. Yeah. And like I said before, I don't think it'll come to that, but it's just the tone I want to set. We're just open, right? Open-minded people exploring our beliefs. Yeah, and seeing what we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. All right, who wants to go first?
That means no violence, John. No, I'm not going first.
Okay,
Somebody set the tone.
I could go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
For what?
For who? What do you believe in?
BBLs, big booty Latinas. What else is there? Fat bottom
You want me
girls
to go first?
make the world go round. I want to make sure they can see you when you say that. I, Andres Gonzalez, am of sound mind. You like that? No. Okay, so I had a very strange upbringing. I remember what it was like to not have any religion at all.
Wait. Before we get to that, I just want to start with, what do you believe in right now?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your belief?
I believe in God. I believe that there is a creator.
Okay.
Although I am not 100% convinced in one exact interpretation of God, the one I find the most familiar, the one that makes the most sense to me, would be like the Judeo-Christian concept of God, that he is Father, the creator. Yeah. So that's what I believe in.
Interesting.
I also believe that there are sciences and stuff like that, and like maybe astrology might be one of them. I'm still getting into it. I'm still learning about it. But I definitely feel like it makes sense that things can affect your birth, like the time, the place, the magnetic fields that change according to the alignment of planets and stars. So I've been kind of curious in that recently, but I would say I've always generally been spiritual. Like I believe in energy and stuff like that too.
Okay. Can I go?
Yeah.
Well, I too believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in a higher power, right? I believe that it does exist within us. I believe in astrology. I believe in tarot. I believe in I don't know. It's hard to quantum physics.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I feel like that's a part of it. I feel like my beliefs are still evolving. I don't have like a set one. I'm exploring right now.
Yeah.
I think that's it, and I'm just like taking in what resonates most with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a healthy way to deal with it. I would say I can relate with like both of you guys. I do believe in God as well. I believe God is the God that I believe in, like God of the Bible, like Judeo-Christian would be like the Judeo-Christian God, right? Yahweh, or whatever name you want to give him. I believe that he's more personal than a lot of humanity thinks. I think that he's widely misunderstood or misinterpreted. Yeah, I think he's more personal than we know. I am a lot more open than I used to be, and I think that if someone in their heart is searching after like the truth, um, their beliefs have to be challenged. They have to allow their beliefs, be open for their beliefs to be challenged. Like get the most scrutiny, get broken down to shreds, because it's like if what you're looking for is the truth, like I think that the truth will stand no matter what type of criticism or anything like that. So I believe in the Bible. I believe in the God of the Bible. I believe in a lot of like the science and stuff like that. Nowadays especially, you can see a lot of stuff like even like neuroscience. Principles of neuroscience are like basically reflecting a lot of what like the Bible says about the mind and stuff like that. So I'm very open these days. Yeah, I'll just say I'm open.
Yeah. I think it's difficult because with like the internet and the spreading of like information and misinformation,
Sure.
I feel like it's so easy for us to like not fact check a lot of things,
Yeah.
or like check people's credibility. So like I feel like a lot of our beliefs are strengthened through personal experiences. Yeah. So I think that's where my beliefs come in place when I like find spiritual tools that help me, and I'm just like, whoa, like this.
You see results.
This is exactly. I see results, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing this then because it's helping me.
Yeah, like you're seeing the validity of it.
Feeling validated.
I like what you said about the God of the Bible, because I feel like it's very, very common that people are either unaware of this in the Bible or they don't believe in this. They're never shown this.
Yeah.
But again, like him, the God I believe in is a very personal God. From what I remember in the Bible, they teach us that like it's literally like you're his son. Like he's watching you day to day. He wants you to win. He sees you have rough mornings, good mornings, how your day ended, all of that. Constantly watching you.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I like that idea, that way to look at it more, because for one, it's a more beautiful concept, right?
Yeah.
To think that God's literally, because otherwise you could think about it like getting lost in a government. You're just a ticket,
Yeah.
Also, if you think about it that way, it allows more empathy, right? Because if God's behind me watching what I'm going through, then he's watching what you're going through. And in that sense, you look at even your enemies differently.
Yeah.
Because God's rooting for them today too.
Yeah.
They're his son too, or daughter.
Dang.
So that's why I like
So
that idea.
everybody is God's children in your eyes?
Yes.
Every human being?
Yes.
Including animals?
The most despicable person still has God's love.
Interesting.
And
most despicable?
Yeah, even the most despicable, God still loves them.
Oh. So he doesn't reject, like according to you guys, he doesn't reject anybody.
That's why it's so
like even to a point, like if you like sin to the max.
There's only, this is what I believe. There's only one sin that you cannot be forgiven for, and that is blaspheming the Holy Ghost.
What does that
mean? To blaspheme the Holy Ghost is basically you get to the point where you have become so overrun and overwhelmed by sin and vices and things like that, that you can't be in the mental state where you can ask forgiveness. Like you are so lost that you don't even think to ask for forgiveness.
Whoa.
So, by technicality, the only sin you can't be forgiven for is the only one you don't ask for forgiveness for.
Oh, interesting.
Because God forgives everything. You can even make fun of God and he'll forgive you for that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting about like the sons of God thing, because I'm still a little foggy on that, because I think that God loves humanity like as his creation, right? Like there's love. The Bible says that he is love. So it's like he loves them, but you see these different stories where it's like it talks about the sons of God and the sons of men, or like the Pharisees, the ones who basically killed Jesus,
handed him to the Romans.
Yeah, they wanted him dead. Jesus had called them like the sons of Satan. So I think, yeah, and it's interesting because even like one of the earliest stories, you see Cain and Abel, when Cain decides to murder his brother, you can see the two differences in their characters. God had asked for specific sacrifices, like bring a slaughtered lamb, bring it to the altar. That's what God had required. Abel came, he got the most beautiful lamb that he had, no spots, no blemishes, sacrificed it. And Cain was like,
I'm gonna save my best.
I'm gonna do what I think is best. And so what he did was the Bible says that he worked in the fields and stuff like that. So he brought like fruits and all this beautiful thing of fruits and whatnot, but it wasn't what God had asked. And so when his sacrifice was rejected, he, out of anger, out of jealousy, I think I remember. Yeah, he ended up killing his brother. You can see that what separated, so God loved Cain just as much as he loved Abel, but it was a matter of Cain's decisions to disobey and then also be like, forget that, like reject God, reject his reproof or his correction.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can see later on in the stories, there's like the line of Cain where it's like continuous disobedience, and with that comes murder, comes killing, comes thievery, comes all this stuff. And Cain's line, or Cain, is like referred to as, a son of God because he chose to be in relationship through listening to what God had said. And so, I don't know if I'd say that everybody is God's son, but I would say that the Bible says that to him who believed on his name, which is believing in Jesus' name, he gives them the right to become a son of God. And so I think that like everyone can be.
I guess you're saying it symbolically. I mean it as far as like from the root of existence.
Yeah. Okay.
By default, you're his creation. You can reject him and despise him, but from deep in his heart, in a way that I guess we can't comprehend, right? Because we can't comprehend God. He has this advanced concept of love.
Interesting.
And I've seen intense expressions of love before, even with people. I mean, look at like those worst nightmare movies where they find out that their son's like a rapist or a murderer. They still love their children, even if they're mortified.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I think it's even crazier on another level for God. I think up until you're completely lost, even then, God's still like rooting for you, hoping that you figure it out.
I like that.
You said yours too, right? You did say yours.
Yeah, she went second.
You did.
Yeah.
You did,
Well, mine's just kind of all over the place, I feel.
No, like you said, you're open, right?
Yeah,
like
very, very much
evolving.
So. Yes.
Also, remember, his is like more specific because he can recite scripture and things like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know I didn't grow up on religion, and I think that's an important like fact to look into because that's what shapes our beliefs.
Yeah.
And then you guys did, right? Well, you more so than him.
Yeah, he is. It's all he's ever known, from what I understand.
Interesting.
And for me, I discovered it at 9 years old. Yeah. I didn't grow up with religion. I remember literally going out Saturdays and like that was like the mall day where my mom would take us out and we'd eat something and we might watch a movie or go to the mall. And it's funny because like after we became religious, I associated that with guilt, like doing anything on Sabbath.
Wow.
So it's funny to remember a time before I had that feeling, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember we weren't religious at all. Like I had video games, Pokemon, all that stuff. And then one day my mom told me to like kneel in front of a wooden box and she like lit like incense and stuff. And she like told me to pray to it. And I remember thinking like, even as a kid, I was like, there's no symbols. Like, who does this belong to? You know, like we can't be praying to a wooden box. Maybe the wooden box of Buddha or something, you know, but like not just a box.
Yeah.
And I don't remember too clearly what it was for, but I remember feeling like it was silly. Like my mom was like, pray. And I was like, for what? You know, I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. Ask it to protect you. Ask it for toys. And I was like, all right. And so that's what I'd do. I'd be like, keep me safe.
Yeah.
The bike would be tight. You know what I mean? Like that was it. Like, but no, like there was no emotional
connection. How long
connection.
were you praying to this box for?
Not long.
Oh, wow.
I remember doing it maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. No, but how long did your mom hold this belief of like this box was power?
Couldn't have been long. Less than a year, probably.
Interesting.
But I remember we did it.
Did you ever ask about it again?
Oh yeah, I bring it up and she'll be like, "Shut up." I'll be like, what was that about? And she's like, pass the salt. Like, she'll be like, she'll pass the
I love that.
and I'd just be like, man.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about it, I guess. But shortly after that, we were back to not being religious at all.
Yeah.
And then this is one of the reasons why I have faith, is because I felt called, I felt pulled, like I felt like an impulse.
Yeah.
We would hang out with my aunt all the time in North Hollywood, and there's a church like right across the parking lot from where her apartment is.
Yeah.
And we had heard them, rejoicing and praising and all that plenty of times, but for whatever reason, this time was different. And I remember I got away from the family hangout, and I just like walked to the church. And I remember feeling driven, like what's going on in there? Like just hearing all the noise and the energy. And then when I went in there, it was a particularly lively church. It was a Pentecostal church. So everybody's like jumping and kind of semi-dancing and praising God. And there's forehead veins and people are pink. And I'm just like, this is incredible, right? Like I want what they're on. And it was just truly awesome. Like I was in awe. And then I remember telling my mom found me in there. I was just like clapping in there, like bobbing with everybody. She was like, look at this kid, right? Like, and then she came inside, and I made her promise me that we would come back.
Yeah.
And then before you knew it, we went there like a handful of weeks. And then my uncle found out that we were like looking into religion, and he invited us to the Seventh-day Adventist church over here.
Wow.
So by the time I was like 9 and a half, we were already going to
And
Pastor
you guys
Lewis's
met
church.
at church, right?
Well, technically, the first time we met, he committed a crime against humanity.
False accusation.
And children. We were children.
False accusation.
She must have been all of what, 8 years old?
8 and a sweet little angel.
But yeah, we met at the...
this church right here?
No. So as we were getting into the church, they had like a sister, like cousin church in the San Fernando Valley, or in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we would go there, and one of my other uncles also went there. We had 2 different Seventh-day Adventist uncles. I don't know which came first or what happened with that, but yeah, I remember with my tío Jose Luis, we would go down to the Seventh-day Adventist one, and I met him. I met him once, and it was a quick experience. It wasn't a pleasant one. And and yeah, we never saw each other again for years. Okay, so I was framed.
It's only speculation, by the way.
So
listen to proven guilty.
They had the church in the front, then they had a lot in between, and then they had like this massive like gymnasium on the other side that had a kitchen and everything. It might have even had showers and like storage rooms. Yeah, and it had a balcony. And I remember I was walking with my family because everybody would walk across the lot to go eat. And all of a sudden, I feel like this energy, right? And I look up at the balcony and I see this little demon staring at me. And so he's just staring at me like intently, right? Like just looking at me like, I don't like this kid, right? And I'm a pretty sweet boy. So I'm like...
Wait, how old were you?
I must have been like, probably like 9. If I was 9, he could have been 8.
You remember this? No.
Rubbish.
And I just remember I looked up at him, and I don't know what happened first, but like all of a sudden, he just smiled at me. And I was like, why is he smiling, right? So I smile, and then he goes like this. And he puts his finger out like this, right? And like just the most mischievous little smile, and he's flicking me off. And I was appalled. I just remember being like, oh God. No, but I remember being like, word? And so I stuck my arm out like this, and I'm like jerking it in the air, forgetting that I'm in a parking lot full of people, and he's like,
from the church.
Yeah, so my uncle just slaps me in the back of the neck. He's like, what are you doing? I go, look. And then when everybody looks, he's smiling. So I got framed. But then I didn't see him again. I remember being like, I hope I run into that one. And then nothing happened. Like I never saw him for the rest of it. And then funny enough, we ended up meeting again years later. I had gone to Pastor Lewis's church up until they moved, and I followed him down to LA. And then I had heard that they had opened this church again. Because that was our old location, and now it was a Hispanic church, which I was extra excited for because when I first went to Pastor Lewis's church, it was predominantly African American. There was one white guy, and if my family visited, Martin's family, then they were like the occasional like non-African visitors.
Interesting.
And other than that, it was just me and my mom. So literally, it was one white guy and then 2 Mexicans. Yeah. And unfortunately, I feel like division and being a part of a team is a natural, like, human behavior.
Yeah.
So what could be construed as racism is really just kind of like natural division.
Yeah.
But we experienced a lot of
Prejudice?
weird treatment,
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
But luckily, it being a church and everybody trying to find God, like we were able to work things out. My mom one day finally felt the need to share that,
Oh, wow.
you know. And then when she did share it, fortunately, there was a lot of loving hearts that were hearing it. So, like, our experience was completely different shortly after that when we let them know, like, hey, we know we're different, and you remind us every time we're here, like. And then they were like, okay, like that's not what we're trying to do. But yeah, so I was excited even more so to go back to the church now that it was all Hispanic, because I was like, oh, I wonder if it'll be like a different vibe or maybe easier. Like, I don't know, right? Because we're Hispanic. And we weren't convinced really. Like, we were still going to Pastor Lewis's church. We had gone for years. And I think I was 14. And we just came to check it out. And I met this guy. Yeah, I met him. And it was the strangest thing because, like, I want to say all of the people I love the most and I feel the strongest connections with, it was like instant. Like, I can't really tell you a moment where I was like, okay, I want them to stick around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say within 5 minutes of talking to this guy, we knew that we were going to be best friends. It was funny. Like, people even gathered around us, like, does he know him from somewhere? And we had just met. We were just talking on the bench, and
that is so cool.
And then I was like, this is my church. It's like,
Aww.
That was when we were like 14, right?
Yeah.
14 to 15. And then you started influencing me in various ways.
Right? For the better.
Naturally.
Right? We both influenced each other for the better.
This is true.
You taught me the virtue of being useful and of being of service.
Aww.
You taught me it's okay to say no. And you can't save everyone. So.
I remember one time he was telling me all these people that needed help, and I was like, "Not everybody gets a happy ending." I was like,
"Dang, that's
tough."
I was
like, "You can't save everybody."
That is true.
That's true. And I was just like, one more. And he's like, "You
Aw.
said that 3 more ago."
Yeah, like,
Damn.
you came for 50, you've done 100. Let's go. Like,
That's cool.
but also I really admired him for it because
Yeah.
it was impressive, his work ethic, like what he could do. Like, in a day he could help like 12 people.
Wow.
He could like fix 3 yards, help somebody with some mechanical issue, run errands for
And that
an old
was
lady.
you as a teenager?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
He loved doing stuff like that for people. I and that was a beautiful thing too. Like, when somebody genuinely enjoys to do something nice for somebody, I think it's an impressive thing.
Yeah, it wasn't always my favorite thing, but it was like, kind of like told, like, deny yourself kind of thing. And
well,
I do
because
think
our
that
church
that's
really pushed that selfless, I guess, ideal. So one of the, I guess, ideals of the Bible that we were learning at the time was that one of the best ways to become closest to God is to kill yourself, as in the inner self, because yourself has an ego, yourself has wants, yourself has whatever, right? And so the idea was to get truly close to God, you would deny that in a sense, right? Everything starts with God and not with what you're feeling. And so that would allow you to be like a missionary, right? Because you're not worried about vacation, you're not worried about downtime, you're worried about if people have eaten, if they need to be taught something, if something has to get built.
You see, I feel like even though without my religious background, like growing up in a church like that, I embody some of those qualities within myself. So that's what I find interesting.
No, it's really good.
And that's another thing I admire about you. Like, I really, because it's a little weird. Like, for me, I can love really hard on the people I care about, but I can also be pretty indifferent about everybody else.
Interesting.
So, like, it's impressive for me when, like, people just genuinely enjoy making people happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's very rare. It's so easy to just. I mean, everybody thinks it's their movie, so it's easy to just get stuck on how you like. Not to be considerate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a balance, though. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from our early friendship. Well, that's kind of like I'm understanding it more in practice now, not just in theory. It's like there has to be balance, right? Like, it's like there's always going to be somebody in need. It's like it's good to help. It's good to be there for people. Like, I think those are great. attributes to have. But I think that there needs to be a balance, like with everything, you know, like
Yeah,
I'll
because
digress there.
like what he was getting into earlier was like, I feel like he was more on the extreme end of like he would literally give up his own free time. Like he'd do his homework, go to school, and then he'd be like helping somebody.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, he didn't get to skate for 4 days in a row because he was doing something for somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he wouldn't get to hang out with me, and that's a problem. So, so I'd be like, "Who? What? You did what for who?" I'd be like, "Where do they live?" Like, you know, like I want to go talk to them and be like, you know.
That's hilarious.
And sometimes it would be egregious, man. Like I remember, what did you do? Like 8 hours, 6 hours of work in a yard one time, and they give you like $13.50 in quarters.
Damn,
yeah,
man.
it was like pennies and quarters. Like,
Damn,
but I was there with my whole
tough.
my whole Hispanic get up, bro. I had the bandana, I had my weed
Working
whacker, I had my
hard.
mower, and I was like, I'll at least make $50, at least maybe 50, $60. I must have been like 15, and I was playing soccer. Not recreation. It was like clubs. I was playing club soccer, so we were traveling and playing. You know, and there's like referee fees. You have to pay jersey fees, travel fees. You know, like registration fees and all that. And I was like, damn, I don't know who's gonna cover that. Like my parents didn't have, you know, to give me 200 in cash. You know,
it's a different thing to have a bunch of brothers.
Yeah. And so I was like grinding, and that lady gave me freaking.
It was like 13 or 15 bucks.
Yeah,
I remember I lost it.
Like, Shani, like, you know, like, here you go, like, thank you for the hard
and
work.
we couldn't even be really mad at her because she was so old.
But I was so upset though because some younger man, maybe a few years older than me, came out of the door as well, and I was like, this buffoon. Like, I'm over here helping this lady.
She's got
for
a grown
charity,
man
pretty much,
Yeah.
and she's got a grown man with a ponytail in her house. Like, why am I here wasting my time?
Yeah.
But so, yeah, that would happen quite a bit, and so there was no balance. I would say, yeah, I would like to help people, but it's a good thing,
because
right?
he had the beautiful concept of like, if I don't, who will?
Mm.
And I would tell him, well, nobody else will if you always do. You know
That's
what
true.
I mean? Like
That's
nobody
true.
ever is going to come along.
Yeah,
They're not going to
yeah.
figure anything else out.
Yeah.
And I would even tell him, I'd be like, and God forbid you die tomorrow, then what?
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. I was like,
and even then, like, well, I would say nowadays, like, I still do that, like, more balanced, you know.
I think you save that more so for your family and loved ones.
Yeah.
I think you're like really solid with everybody else.
Yeah. I think so. But what I like a root belief that I saw was like fueling these behaviors, you know, or these good deeds, if you will. Part of it was like virtue signaling, like I wanted to be looked at in a certain way, you know, like Father Teresa or whatever. Whatever's the man version
Prodigal
of
son.
Mother Teresa. Yeah, like I wanted to that, right? And then I also subconsciously believed that that's what earned my sonship as a son of God, or like as like
like you have to
I had
constantly be
earn
doing
it.
work to
Like I
be
had
like
to prove it. I had to
keep
earn
your
it. Like,
membership.
yeah, exactly. And it's quite interesting because in our church, they're like,
they
no,
literally
works don't
teach
save
you. You
They're
can't
like, works,
do good enough.
Works don't, but you better try. And I'm just like, I've always found
show the effort, but it won't be good enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the thing is that's and even now, dude, pushing 30, like I'm still dealing with that. And what has helped me is like being open, letting go of an outcome, and rewiring my brain by saying these different truths like, hey, like this good deed doesn't make me good. This good thought doesn't make me good. Like it doesn't make me loved, doesn't make me good, anything like that. Like one of the most fundamental, I think, teachings or liberating teachings that you'll find in scripture when you can understand it in your own context is like you can never be more loved than you are right now. And what you do doesn't increase the love that God has for you. And that people shouldn't love you more just for what you do.
Based off of
based off of
that you're like a human being, not a human doing, you know?
Yeah.
And so like
I love that.
It's like,
it would be off of your actions, but not your works.
Right.
Like who you choose to be, not what you provide.
Right. Because it's like, yeah, like that's not your identity. But I think that like nowadays, especially now, you know, with like all the SJWs and you know, all these different movements, identity is like, what the heck? Like it's everywhere. It's you know, and so what's very fascinating about this is that despite how you feel, this is what's truth to me, to my perspective.
Okay.
Like I can be like, I feel like a piece of crap. I did this. I can have all this evidence. I did this. I, stole. I lied. I beat an old grandma up. Like whatever, you know. One thing I'm grasping now is that despite what you have done, your identity does not change, and that yes, you can make those ugly mistakes, but that God is waiting right there, saying, "Yeah, I saw what you did, but this is what I say about you. You are changed. You're renewed. You are. I will make you brand new.
Salvation is always available.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's been one of the most sustainable new ways that I can view. Bless you. That I view like my beliefs. And so when I hear somebody say something outlandish, like I identify as an attack helicopter or like whatever, No, like it's
There
a
are
joke.
people that literally say they identify.
There's everything. Yeah.
In Oregon, there's a I hope you can't do this, but there's I don't know if she's a congresswoman, but I think she has something to do with the financial stuff of Oregon, I think.
Yeah.
But my friend was sharing that this lady, she identifies as something called turtle self, and this woman is like in
charge
the
of
government,
important things.
like in charge of very important things. She identifies as like turtle self, and so I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to ask, like, but I hear things like that, and I'm like,
I almost think it's important to
just
ask because it's like
Sure.
if that's how you identify, how is that altering the way you move in life
Exactly.
and approaching your job?
Exactly. And this is the scariest side to look at it.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up a very interesting point on the Joe Rogan podcast that one of the telltale signs that a civilization will collapse, a great nation, whatever, right?
I think you and Spook told me this.
Is that eventually they get to a point where like things get so sweet that they have time to create problems where there aren't.
Yes.
And usually when that happens, it's like a high interest in like identity and things like that, and that's when things start to get strange and people become very impractical. And back in warring times, that made it easy to get taken over, right?
Yeah.
But it happened with everybody. The Romans, the Greeks, just before they went to their end, they started getting crazy ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating. I think so, yeah.
Okay, now I want to talk about religious experiences, right? Or just like spiritual. Well, I don't know what to call them.
Supernatural.
Just events where you felt like God was with you or something higher, a higher power was,
Yeah.
So I know Gonzo has a good story. Did you want to share?
Did you want to go first?
Do you want to go first? I mean,
I can go if you want.
Yeah, you can go.
I have a couple. One of the earliest ones I had, I was with my mom at like this like caretaking facility for like old people. And I don't remember exactly what she was doing, if she was like a nurse at the time or if she was maybe just cleaning.
Yeah.
But I remember she told me I could play in this little like courtyard area, and there was an opening to it, and she made it very clear, like, don't go out to the street, right? But at the time, I felt like I had like a fire under my ass. Like when I was a kid, I just had to keep moving. Like I loved exploring. And eventually, I'm like testing boundaries and getting closer and closer to that gate. And then eventually I was on the other side of it, like in the front yard with the grass. And then I get the bright idea to just bolt down the street. And before I take off to like go see what's up, this old couple stops me. They're like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Whoa," right? Like I get all nervous.
Yeah.
And it was this older Caucasian gentleman and his wife, and they were holding hands, and they were really, really old, like white hair, everything, right? Like barely could walk.
Wow.
And I remember they were like, "You weren't about to leave, were you?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Your mom told you not to leave." And I remember they said that, which I thought was creepy. Like, how do you know my mom, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't. And then I went to run back into the gate because I was like, I'm done talking to y'all. Like, I'm like, you caught me. And then I came to run back outside, and they were gone. Like in a second. Like the moment I ran up to the gate, I was like, wait, what? And then I ran back, and they were gone. And then I ran around the corner, both blocks, and there was nobody. Like there was like regular people at the bus stop.
What the heck?
I'm like, there's no way they just took off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I remember thinking that was kind of like crazy. Like it made me really nervous, and I ran straight to my mom right after that. And my mom used to tell me, I guess maybe because I was a kid, that those were like guardian angels. That like they kept me from getting hurt. Maybe I was going to get hurt in the street or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But another theory that I also like to think about was I've told a number of people this story, and another spiritual person told me that they might have died, and that they stopped me from leaving on their way out. Like they had just died and they're whatever on their way or whatever, and they were like, hey. I always thought that was an interesting idea. But that was the earliest one I think I can remember, which was like kind of supernatural. And then there was a moment I had later on in church where I did communion, and I felt like I really had a pact with God. I felt like this inexplicable sensation of peace. It was like being at peace and fulfillment, which I think is a strange concept to like even try to grasp as a child. But I remember feeling like it doesn't matter what happens, I'm good. Like I remember feeling that, like I'm saved. And that's one of the reasons why I have so much faith in this religion, because I've praised at different places, at different religions, and I've never felt that other than this religion. And then another supernatural experience I had was I was being really reckless in high school. I think it was 15, and a couple of my buddies and I decided. Well, the neighbor was older; it was kind of his idea, but he was like, "I took a couple of wine coolers for my sister. We should go get drunk and joyride in my friend's car, his truck." And so we did. We drank a couple wine coolers, and I'm like 14 or 15, so it doesn't take much. I think I had one or two, and I was feeling it. And it's late at night. The moon's out. We're just joyriding in like the back hills. And my friend took the turn way too fast, and I was standing at the back of the truck, like with my hands on like the top of the cabin. And so when he takes the turn, everybody else reacted and they bent their knees, but I was standing straight, so I just went straight off, like head first, off of my feet. And I remember the moment I flew, I started to spin, like rotate. And I knew I was in trouble because like I didn't know which way was up once I spun once. So I was like, more than likely, I'm gonna fall in a way that breaks my neck or my arm. Also, we had a wash nearby, and it wasn't consistent. There are parts where it was more flat ground. And like a steep drop off, and that's where I landed. Because there were parts that were more like a hill that went down to the wash. So what could have happened is I could have suddenly been 30 feet in the air because I flew over a hill and then landed in, like the little creek. But I remember I flew and I was like, I'm fucked. Like that's what I said in my head. I was like, that's how I go out. Like I remember thinking like I could die from this. And I remember feeling like I was upside down, and I kept spinning, and then it felt like two arms grabbed my back. It felt like somebody caught me, and I remember just like substantially slowing down and then falling gracefully. And it was crazy because I remember literally, like inexplicably, like it literally felt like two arms, like when you're held like a child. I remember I felt that behind me, and I was like, I felt like I was good. Like I felt like a little better about it. And then I fell super gracefully. Like I didn't have like any scrapes. Like I had some leaves in my foot, nothing.
Damn.
Not even like a bruise on my ass.
You're able to walk normal.
I got right back up.
That's crazy.
And I landed in like bushes and stuff, like tall grass. So I remember when I flew, like it must have looked horrible, like from somebody else's point of view. Because I remember I landed and then I heard them freaking out and they pulled the truck over. And then my friend, at the time, Marcos, my best friend, he was my neighbor. And I remember he was running. Like I could hear him running to the bushes to like find out. And when I stood up, I saw the fear of God in his eyes. Like I remember seeing him.
Scared.
He thought he saw me die.
Aww.
And I remember he walked up and he was speechless. And I was like, what's up with you, right? Because I'm like still faded. I'm like, and he just hugged me. And then we kind of toned it down after that. But like, it was really strange. Like I know it probably sounds crazy. You know what I mean? To like anybody else that maybe hasn't had those experiences or has had that kind of faith. But and my mom's always told me that since we became religious that I had guardian angels. Like I remember she used to tell me as a kid, like almost as if like everybody gets assigned one at birth. But yeah, I felt like there was definitely like some sort of divine intervention because I got thrown so bad. I was the only person standing up when he hit the turn. Everybody else was kind of like, hunkered down on like the side of the truck. And I was drunk, so I was like, whoa, like I didn't care. I wasn't thinking about physics. But those are like the clearest examples I can bring up immediately.
Okay.
How about you, Olga?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have it. I feel like I can't really remember anything too crazy like that, where I've been like, my life was saved. But normally when I like try and when I have spiritual experiences, it's usually with like tarot cards. I'm always like asking about the challenges that I'm facing. And one of the recent revelations that I've made is that within my relationships, I tend to provide reassurance without allowing the other person to reassure me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think something that it's really helped me reflect on is that I'm an overgiver, in the sense that I'm always trying to make sure everybody feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I have like the strength of being secure within myself to a large extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing can, I don't want to say nothing, but it takes a lot for me to feel like destabilized.
Yeah.
Within myself. So I'm always like for example, when I'm having issues with someone at work, like, oh, I feel like this person doesn't like me. She gave me attitude. I didn't like it. My first instinct isn't like, fuck that bitch. It's like, why are you the way you are? You know, like, let me learn about you to why you're reacting to me in this way.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just like, but I'm an overgiver, right? Most people would naturally be like, I'm not going to associate with this person anymore.
They're the problem.
They disrespected me. But I just want to be like, like I don't know. I'm very open-minded. I have a kind heart, and I want to understand why you're treating me this way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I always ask, like, the cards, like, well, what do they think of me? Sometimes it's intimidation. Sometimes it's insecurity. Like, oh, you know, I'm very, what is it called? Authentic. And I'm very loud in my authenticity. I'm very expressive. So that's why, it's hard for me to, no, it's easy for me to be neurotic and just think negatively. So that's why I always go to the cards. I'm like, what do I do in this situation? What should I think? And it always brings me clarity, and it helps me. It's honestly, I feel like I can credit a lot of it, a lot of my growth to it. So that's why it's like something I'm very like drawn to, because I'm like obsessed with growth. If that makes sense, you know. I just want to be the best version of myself, and I just want to help other people as best as I can. You know?
I feel like it's like a form of reassurance.
Yes,
Because
validation.
I have had some stuff recently that is kind of like, I guess, like for the lack of a better phrasing, like troubled me, or like things that I've been concerned about. And I've tried it, and I've done it in a number of ways with different ways about doing it, right?
Yeah.
I've tried to make like controlled studies of it. So I'll do like a specific question, and I'll do it with different sites.
Yeah.
And then I'll have it, and then I'll like run it by ChatGPT in addition to like what I read about like what it could mean.
Yeah.
And so I like when it's like, it's been consistent so far. Like even if I get a reading from here and from there, when I run it by, you know what I mean? Like when you look up what things can mean and then you run it by ChatGPT, it ends up being like the same thing essentially. And I like it because, for one, I've had pleasant news or revelations about things. So that also helps because, again, fear and concern and things like that, it's not like a healthy place to operate from. So it feels good to know that like a lot of my worries are just in my head.
Yes.
And then, also, even when it is like liminal things, like a transition, which isn't good or bad, right? It just feels good to like get an idea that you're still on the right path. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
So I've gotten some comfort from it the couple times I've used it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, going back to like the revelation I made, it's like providing reassurance before they reassure me. Like, say if I'm like vulnerable with someone and it makes them uncomfortable, like I spoke too soon, I'm like, it's okay. No, it's fine though. I'm okay. No, don't even worry about it. You know. So it's like making them comfortable
over what you're feeling,
over what I'm feeling,
even making what's
and
about you.
I didn't realize that I'm suppressing my needs by doing that.
Yeah.
So and it's building relationships that's okay. So it's like allowed me to reflect and bring clarity that I need to allow, even if they're uncomfortable, I need to allow the other person to reassure me in order to create more balanced relationships and to build more fulfilling relationships, because it's like I'm allowing that right in my life, and now it's just going to create a relationship where it's going to keep being that
imbalance.
Yes. And I'm just going to keep accepting that, and I'm subconsciously doing that, and I don't know if I would have been able to come to that conclusion on my own which is crazy too.
I definitely have faith in you as a person, so
Yeah.
I think that you definitely would have eventually come to that.
Yeah, but I'm not sure
But
if
who knows
as
how long it
quickly.
could have taken.
Yes, yes.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool how you brought that up because I lost it. Wait, what did you just say right now?
About how I allow people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So even though I have like a lot of faith in humanity and the beauty of the human psyche and like philosophy and the way, or like no, not philosophy. What do they call it? The psychology of why people are the way they are.
Yeah.
I feel like we're like a perfect, at our best, we're a perfect balance of like savage animals and like enlightened divine beings. Right? So like we have the ability for like love, romance, the arts, music, like all that stuff, right? Yeah. And these are like amazing, passionate things that like elevate your concept of life and, you know, allow you to enjoy things in different perspectives. But I also believe that like at the end of the day, we still have like a little monkey in us. You know what I mean? Like we enjoy violence, we enjoy conquering. There's simple primal pleasures and behaviors, and one of them is the most common response to weakness is to exploit it. That's just a natural human tendency.
Wait, say it again. The most common what?
Response to weakness is to exploit it.
Interesting.
Right? More so rarely is to nurture it, to guide it, to help them, right? Those are the rare people. But most people, they see somebody weak and they think, oh, I can get away with things with this person, or I can get things from this person.
That makes sense.
And so with that being the case, I firmly believe that people would disrespect you as much as you allow them to. So it's good that you had that concept of relationships and stuff like that, because it took me the hard way to learn that with people, that people will only get away with what you allow. Because I've literally had fucked up friendships where like I kind of let them mess with me too much, and then been like, all right, I'm done with you, and then them been like, no, I still want you in my life, and then been like, well, this is what it is now, and they snap right to it. Whoa. Which means they always could have been that way.
Yes.
So in that sense, it is very important that you are mindful of these things, because it's not to say that they're these evil, heinous people. Yeah. It's a natural thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. The same way that like people being pathetic or cringy, it's natural to feel disgusted. You know what I mean? Like the nicest person can still get the ick with people. That brings me
back to the time where I was on the phone with like someone from the bank, and what did I need help with? I forgot. Oh, to dispute a charge. It was 2 charges, and they were made around the same time in my
head. You associated
in my head. Yeah, I just felt like that day related. When I saw those 2 charges, I'm like, oh, it's from the same person. I got charged by car insurance, and they're telling me, oh, after all, we can't provide you for car insurance because of this accident on your part, which wasn't even for me, whatever. I'm like, but you already charged me. And I could have sworn those 2 charges were made at the same time. So I'm like, this is by the same people. But on the statement, it says there was 2 separate things. I'm
2
like,
different charges.
So I just assumed the second charge, which was the lesser amount, like $20, was from, even though it's a different name, I was like, maybe it's like a credit card fee or processing fee. Maybe that's why it's called differently. I was like, whatever. So then I call the bank, because I tried to call the car insurance company, 5 different numbers, couldn't get help, nothing. So I'm just like, okay, let me call the bank. This is the last resort, right? So then the guy, automatically, I felt his tone of voice being so like done with the day. Yeah, confrontational. Like, I ain't taking no shit. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And my natural inclination when approaching people or talking to anybody, it's just like super sweet, kind, understanding, patient. I don't care how long this takes. Humility. You know what? Humility. I'm like, if you can't do something, I understand. You know, move on to the next step. That's okay. But I'm also gonna ask, you know, as much as questions.
I'm trying to figure this out.
Because I want my best result at the same time, the best result I can get. So then, I told him, yeah, these 2, I feel like they don't make sense to me. I want to dispute both of them. And he's like, well, have you talked to these people? And I was just like, yeah. He's like, when? Like, he's like, why are you talking to me? Like, why are you talking to me like this? I've been nothing but nice. Finally, I got to the point where I'm just like, fine, just help me with the first dispute. Because he said the second one was like made at a separate time. It doesn't make sense.
Separate vendor, whatever. Yeah.
I almost felt like he was accusing me of trying to like make money off of. Yes. I'm like, bro, it's $20. Relax. Yeah. So I'm like, fine, whatever. Help me with the first one. So I feel like it snapped him out of it. Like just because I'm sweet and kind, don't test me. I could come out.
And I remember
my gangster will come out.
I remember you said, he was like, which ones are the dual charges?
Yes.
Like he was getting stuck on dual by definition being equal charges, and you're like, no, it's two together, and he's thinking two the same.
Yes,
so he's like, where's the other 100 and something charge?
I know. I was just like, what the heck? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm just like, I was just done. I was just so done. And and it's like, and it's funny because the second I got crazy, all of a sudden he wants to act right. All of a sudden.
No. This call may be recorded for quality purposes, mother.
And training.
But they need to use this one for sure.
This is a lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
What not to do.
Sometimes when you look for somebody, you find them.
Don't test me, like I said. And finally, when I got off the phone with him, he's like, okay, have a nice day, bye. And I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, like, I'm done with you. Too late.
You don't get to redeem yourself. You learn from this.
You remember? You can't take it back.
Exactly. But I'm also not the type of person to be like, oh, let me speak to your manager.
Joshua was
I know everybody has bad days.
I
know.
Karen moments.
I had one Karen moment, and I was deeply humbled. Never again.
You were a Karen and you got humbled? I was a Karen
one time,
and it taught me
learned your damn lesson.
I did. I said never again.
Please,
I feel
please elaborate.
No, hell no.
Well, off camera. Sorry,
we listen and we don't judge.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. Well, we listen and we don't judge.
I didn't hear that right.
Unless you're wrong.
I just heard that.
Definitely judge.
It was for AutoZone.
Oh, have mercy.
What's so funny?
She said it was for AutoZone, and I just thought of her starting shit at an AutoZone, and it made me die.
I remember my AC was not blowing cold, so then we spent $40 fucking, right, on those cans. I don't know if you guys have ever
yes,
Freon.
It's like a
Freon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys ever used that, but yeah. I bought one and I came home and I used it, put it on my car, and like the whole can was like I was using it, but a lot of it was leaking out. Yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? Is this defective or something? So I'm just like, but I used the whole can. And then I drive my car for a little bit and it was like
a little colder.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
it felt like it. You know what? And it's my fault because I was in the wrong because it did blow cold only when I was driving. When my car was stopped, it felt like it only blew regular or hot air. It like come to find out later when I did get the AC fixed, I knew it was something else. Something else was the problem. But during this time I thought, oh, that's the problem. Or because I didn't use the whole can, that's what was stuck in my head. So when I got there, I asked the guy, I was like, oh, is it normal for it to leak? And he's like looking at me dumb, like, no. And I was like, well, it like basically leaked the whole time. And I was mad because I was like, that's a lot of money. So then he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Did you read the instructions? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, maybe you didn't know what you were doing. And that set me off. I was like, what you mean? Like the instructions are easy. This is not hard. Like this is not rocket science.
He's not he's insulting your intelligence.
Yes, that's what it felt like.
As an option to deny you help.
Yep.
So he's like, I'm not gonna help you because you're dumb.
Yes, that's exactly what it felt like. So I said, let me speak to your manager. And then
was he like, I am the manager.
But and this is when I was with someone, right? But I was the one taking charge, and it felt like I was alone, like I didn't have
that's crazy
backup, right? So then when I spoke to my manager, yes, it just made me feel like maybe even more so I'm in the wrong,
That's tough.
So then when I spoke to her, I was like, what's it called? I wanted to return this, and the other guy that I spoke to first didn't give her the full story of why I was upset. And I didn't really feel like I was already overwhelmed. This is not my usual character. But I was practicing standing up for myself. So then when I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. This can, what's it called? It was defective. I don't remember what I said. But she was trying to accuse me of like, well, you used it all. So there's nothing in here. You can't return an empty can back to us, And I'm just,
even though that might be valid, it doesn't matter if it's full or empty. If it don't work, it don't work, and it's useless, and you can't sell it. So she lost nothing.
That's crazy.
By that time, like I was at like my peak of like being able to handle the situation. So I was just like, fine, it's fine, just whatever. And I just
tapped out.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what the other issue with that too is?
What?
Like you said, it ended up being another issue, part of that whole system. But also, Kobe brought up a brilliant point. is that the reason why that usually doesn't work for people is because it's not that they don't have enough Freon in their system, it's that it's leaking it. So what the proper way to do that is you get a sealer first and you spray that shit in your vents, and it seals anything that might be slightly open or leaking, and then you shoot it with Freon. And that's how you get like that movie theater cooling system.
Yeah. But like
because think about it, if you're filling up a bottle with a hole in it.
Yeah. Like I said, that wasn't the problem.
It was like
it was the compressor.
So was that the supernatural experience?
She was levitating.
No.
She achieved true Karenhood.
Floating Karen. Hey? She was like, Ave Maria.
No, but I told myself not to be Karen after that.
Damn. Yeah. I was a Karen one time. I left a review, but I never let him redeem himself. So it was a place, we were at a business event or whatever, right? And we had a beach day. It was a Monday. I was with my friend, and we passed by to get breakfast at this place. It had really good reviews. I don't remember the place. Otherwise, I'd blast y'all online. But but the review was insane, bro. Like, I could even read the review. It was savage. Like, it was savage. I wrote it because I was disgusted at this dude's behavior, like with my friend, like my partner at the time.
Wait, where was this out again?
This was in like Newport Beach area.
No, but what was it, like a restaurant?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a restaurant. I have the review. The review is savage, bro. I was eloquent, but I was pretty
ruthless.
Savage. Yeah, bro. Maybe I'll find it and share it with you guys after. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I basically, the reason I wrote a review, I've never written a review in my life. That's the only, like, you have
to push me
Yelp.
so far to write a review.
You have to go on Yelp.
It could be a shitty Uber and I'm still like 4 stars. You know what I mean? Like
he brought me here safely.
I got there alive. You know what I mean? Like one time I gave a review, and it's because this motherfucker's car smelled. He had a foul attitude, and I had to listen to his music.
Yeah. So literally, that was the case, but in restaurant style, right? And so I ordered. A lot of the times I'm gluten free. I just feel better with it, and I ordered something called buckwheat pancakes. And I was like, that sounds healthy and like cardboard, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Yeah, it sounds like cardboard, bro.
Yeah.
And so I got that, some eggs and papas on the side, right? I go, and my friend, she gets like a breakfast platter as well, but I get the pancakes because I wanted them. Get them. We're sitting on the beach, gonna eat first, and then go play volleyball and stuff, right? And bro, I think the bill was like $55, bro, for 2 plates, bro. For 2 plates, bro. It was crazy. It was in a wealthier part of Newport Beach. And I'm like, well, on the credit card, bling bling, like, you gotta do what you gotta do, And we were already late. And so we got what we got. We were eating and enjoying. And I'm like looking at my friend, and she's not super picky. She's literally just like, nah, like these papas and eggs are like not it. You gotta try them. She's like, can I try your pancakes? I was like, go for it. Like, these are actually banging. Like, they're so good.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And I gave them to her. I was like, I like these better than regular pancakes. Like, these are solid. She was eating them. She's like, we should trade. Like, I like these, And I was like, no, those are mine. But anyway, I was just like struggling to eat the freaking eggs and papas. I was like, this is rubbish.
Yeah, no, I heard Marcos.
That boy. I love that boy.
You just hear him cheering right now.
I think he just won or something.
Yeah. I didn't hear it.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Just the pureness of his expression. It's like
fantastic, bro. Anyway, short story long. There was another girl with us, and she ate the food. She was just looking at us eat, like in the corner of her eye. I was like, "You hungry? You must be hungry because you're looking all up in here, bro." Like, I was like, "You want some?" Like, I was just munching away, and she's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, bro."
That's a resounding yes.
She's freaking killing it. I was like, "Damn, okay." But anyway, I'm like, maybe we can. I was like, stop eating it if you don't like it. Split these pancakes with me and my eggs as well, and maybe we can bring it back and be like, "Yo, this was not good. Like, can we exchange it for some buckwheat pancakes or something?" Like, because this was not good.
Even a whole other meal. Just give us some more cakes.
I was like, I really like this. This was mid. I don't want to spend $25 on a rubbish dish. You know what I'm saying? And plus tip. Justified. I always tip too. I always tip.
That's justified.
Which has its pros and cons. But anyway, I literally called the dude, and I told my friend, I was like, hey, like, just go ahead and ask him. And she put him on speaker because he just sounded like Eeyore, number one. And dude was like, no, like, I'm sorry, we can't do that. Like, we can't, if we, if we gave out food every time somebody didn't like it, we'd be, we'd go out of business. But before he said that, he was like, it must be like you, basically, because no one ever, we don't ever, no one complains about that. He said that, and I was like,
wow.
Beautiful. Like, okay. And then he said, plus, if we were doing that, so it's kind of like what is it? It's like an oxymoron with him saying like, yeah, we can't just give out free food because if we did, we'd go out of business. But then also, no one ever complains. So that doesn't make sense, bro. It's like either they're complaining to you often or they don't. So like you just,
and you can't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Or or you could do it this one time because nobody ever does.
Bro.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the issue then? I'm number one. Like patient zero.
Bro. Yeah. And he basically was like, no, like I was just like, bro, are you the manager, bro? He's just like, yeah, like I'm the standing manager. Bro, and I was like, don't want him, don't need him, big fella. Like, and I don't wish he lost his job or anything like that, but I just hope he learned his lesson or something, because I wrote a nasty freaking review, not like disgust or anything, but I did say like some bad words in it, and I was just roasting the manager, and literally I got like a bunch of likes, and then like a couple of reposts, and then I got a message about the comment. And it was the owner of the restaurant.
Of course.
He was like, hey, like, I'm so, like, thank you for your honest review. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I would love to invite you. I would love to compensate you, make it up to you. Like, can we talk about it? I was salty and I was like, sorry, big fella. No,
too little, too late.
Yeah, and so the review's still up there. I see at the coffee shop, that matters.
Yeah, it does,
but you know
bro.
What? Think about the beauty and even savagery, right? Because yes, you can get stuck on the fact that you're being emotional about it, and like maybe it could have done some damage, but at the same time, good comes out of pressure.
Yeah.
Because especially if he got fired, nobody's gonna catch an attitude with customers anymore.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the manager,
this is true,
got disciplined over it.
Yeah.
So in a way, it makes them take their customers more seriously, which is good.
Yep.
It's a supernatural one.
What do you mean?
Because you got all crazy about it.
Well, because I get scared of ghosts, that's why.
But this is like in another state.
Oh, okay, fine, go ahead.
So basically, he was living with roommates.
The border.
He was living. Well, if it's in Texas, it ain't gonna catch me in California.
How do you know that?
I know.
Where did the crypt keeper kill the people?
We don't know how
the crypt.
Spiritual plane works.
Not in their suburban home in fucking Seattle. Yeah. But anyways, he said that he was taking a nap during the day, and that all his roommates were downstairs, and he had locked his door. And it's like a balcony, so it's like, unless timed up like Assassin's Creed, they're not getting in his room. So he was taking a nap, and he said at one point he felt like somebody kind of rubbed his leg like this and had sat on the bed, and that he like had kind of ignored it, and then he felt like the leg again, like the rubbing on the leg, and that's when he was like, what the fuck, right? And he kind of looks up with his eyes kind of closed. Nothing, right? There's nothing at his bed. His covers are on him. So he lays back down, and then he feels rubbing fast again, and then he just feels somebody shoot something on his leg.
Oh, hell.
Like shit just flies on his leg. And he gets up, and nobody's in the room, and the door's still locked. And he has what he described as ectoplasm, like clear fluid on the side of his leg.
Oh my gosh.
He was under the bed, fool.
When he told me this story, we were drinking, so I was like, the ghost nutted on you. That's what I told him. I was like, that motherfucker was rubbing his dick on your leg, and you couldn't tell, and then he got his, and he dipped.
Are we including this?
Little pump and dump.
But I just remember thinking, like, damn, that's crazy. And the craziest part about it was that he could feel it. He was like, it felt like lube or something. He was like feeling it. And then he ran downstairs to tell them about it. He was like, who's been fucking with me? And they're like, what's up with you, dude? Like, we're hanging out in the living room. And even he realized that his door was locked. And when he went to show them, there was no more goop on his leg. It was gone. So that was his weird experience.
Wait, it was gone? It disappeared?
Yeah. Like, in the moment, it took him to get downstairs and be like, hey, who fucking squirted me? It's not on his leg anymore.
Crazy.
And he played with it. Like, he felt it and was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he was my...
That's crazy.
I remember one specific experience that happened in my house, right? I remember it was like 6 a.m, and my sister had her own room, and me and my brother had our own. Where like I always shared a room. It was me and Marcus in one, and then it was Vaughn in the other one. And I remember it was like 6 a.m, And she had like a dresser against the wall of the window, and there was like this glass vase, right? It had like a narrow bottom, and then it curved up like that, and you just hear like this shatter, right, break, and she's screaming, "Mama!" And I'm just like, "Bro, it's too early for this." And she's like freaking out, screaming for my mom, and she finally says like, "What do you want?" You can't rely on her if you're in trouble. What the heck? She did not get up for nothing.
She's like, what? From her bed?
Exactly.
He's like, Ma!
And I get up because I'm curious, like, what's going on? I go in her room, and like, there's glass on the floor, but the base of the vase is on the dresser. And I'm just like, what the heck? How did this happen? So then, and then I'm like,
like just the top of it
and
was
I'm
broken?
like, yeah, and I go to my mom, I'm like her vase just broke.
But it's still standing.
Yeah, no, like the bottom, like the bottom part was on the dresser, but all the glass was on the floor. Yeah. So I was like, "What the heck happened?" And my mom's like, "Did someone throw a rock in your room?" And we look at the window; it's closed, and there's no opening to it.
It's
so
broken.
I was like, "What the heck?" I don't know. Yeah, Vanya has some pretty spiritual experiences herself. I know she has a couple more stories. I can't remember the top of my head, but I know my mom's pretty spiritual herself. So she has dreams of like, I guess the future. Because she was able to see one of my cousins pass away before he actually passed away. Just a young man pass away in the way he like passed away as well. She was able to describe to us, and then she was like so anxious and worried it's gonna be like one of her kids, but it wasn't.
It was a distant relative.
So that was interesting. And she was able to dream of a newborn, my sister Vanya's kid.
Before she knew?
Not before she knew, before she was pregnant. She said, I see a new baby entering the family. Aww. Yeah, and then she was able to tell if it was a boy before Vanya told her. And now, recently, she also said she sees a new baby in the family again. And I'm like, oh, who is it?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
It's interesting you say that because you reminded me of my mom.
Yeah.
So my mom told me when she was little, she used to see accidents before they would happen, and it traumatized her deeply. Whoa. Like she would just walk past somebody and would see an injury, like a gash in a leg or a misfigured arm. And one of the clearest memories I have of one of her stories was she was going to the liquor store or something to buy something like eggs or something. Mm-hmm. She's walking with her older brother, and she sees a guy by one of like the like lampposts just sitting there, and all of a sudden she starts freaking out, and she's like, "Oh my God, his hand, right?" And like his hand was like gored. Yeah. And so she starts crying, and my uncle's like, "What's the matter with you, right?" Like, and then she opens her eyes again, and he's fine. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, "What's up with your sister, right?" Yeah. And she was like, "But his hand." And then so her brother was just like, "Shut up," right? And they like played it off, and they walked away. Yeah. When they came back from their walk from the market, something had happened to him, and his hand was like misfigured. Whoa. And stuff like that would happen all the time with her.
Does it still happen? Or?
No, she said that she prayed. She didn't even know who God was, but said she prayed that if it was a gift, that it would be taken. Oh. And I remember she was like just praying. She was like, I just basically prayed to what I thought was
like,
God.
How do you even handle something like that? What do you do with it?
And she would be like 8, 9 years old when she would see stuff like this. So like, who wants to see that? Yeah, you know, I feel like that would trip us out as grown-ups.
Yeah, that's tough.
And but she always had some special attunement though, because like one of the funniest tricks that she's always done is she could guess what time it is. I haven't asked her in a long time, but like it was creepy for a while. Specifically when I was in high school, she was really good. We could be like sitting and eating and talking, and she'd be like, "It's 5:45," and it'd be 5:45.
Whoa.
And another cool thing she did was she guessed 3 of my aunt's pregnancies, which I thought was cool that you said that about your mom.
Oh yeah.
She was like, "You're gonna have a boy, another boy, and then a girl," and that's what she had. She had. Every time before she had it. And my aunt was like, I haven't told anybody. And she was like, I had a dream.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite interesting.
What about your spiritual experiences? It's your turn.
And she's just like, I like how she just looks at him like,
spiritual experience, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her about what the sister did to you in the church, made you levitate.
That's crazy. That's crazy work. No, let me think. Yeah, I've had a few. Mm-hmm. One of the more recent ones for me was like I work with people who have like brain diseases, you know, neurodegenerative disease. And this one guy I've been working with for a couple of years, we had like there was like an accident, you know, where he had like a psychotic break, and he hit me, you know, while I wasn't looking.
Whoa.
And so like my ear was busted and everything, and I was like, oh, okay, so like
He actually split his ear.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I'm just setting the ground for like the story, the context of it, you know. And so it was like a live-in position. I was living there, and so after that, after I was like, oh, he can potentially get so mad that he can like, you know, actually swing at me.
Yeah.
And if I'm not careful, like, and I'm not looking or paying attention, he can get me. You know? Yeah. A very able-bodied person who's kind of handicapped in their own way. But anyway, so with that in mind, I was very aware now of the potential, you know, outbursts that could lead to chasing or injury or whatever. And so it was one day, maybe a little while after that, where I had been doing this study on praying for people, you know. I'd been doing this, I had a curiosity, you know, of like, how can I affect that person's life through prayer, right? Because like the Bible, it's always like pray without stopping, you know, continually pray. You know, that's like how you talk to God. And then also it says like people pray for other people. Like Jesus prays for one of his disciples, he prays for Peter, he says, you know, the devil is after you. He wants to sift you like wheat. He wants to despedazarte, you know, like take you apart piece by piece. He says, but I have prayed for you. I'm like, what? Okay, what does that mean? You know, that he prayed for him. Like, what does that affect? You know, what does that
What's
look
the
like
impact of it?
Yeah, what does that look like in the unseen world? And so I'm very intrigued by the esoteric, you know, the hidden stuff that's not in plain sight. A healthy curiosity there, but with boundaries, and like the unseen stuff, you know, like in the context through the narrative lens of, you know, the Bible. And so I do believe in angels. I do believe in, you know, demons and things like that. Like there's a lot of evidence for me at least. And so with that in mind, the main source of my study was a gentleman who dedicated his life and wrote books on how these spiritual experiences have impacted his life, specifically through praying. You know, it's a bit of a word salad, I know, but what I'm trying to say is, I wanted to put that into practice. And in this, there was another instance where the guy that I worked for was getting very angry. We were switching his medications, seeing what worked, what didn't work, and he got very angry. One of the side effects was like aggression. You know, that was one of the side effects. I was like, this dude needs a drink, man, because this dude's like, and so it was another instance. And I remember just looking at him after explaining it time and time again as best as I could, what the situation was. But because of the medication, his disease, and anger, he was like, I could just see him like, what's the word? The Spanish word is enfogonado, but that's the Spanish word, but it's like lit. My dude was turned up. Turned up, bro. And he was turning so red, bro. And I was just like looking at him. What can I do in this situation? Like,
What are my
worst
options?
comes to worst, I'm gonna have to restrain this man or run. You know. But I was like, and the option came to my mind from the videos I had been watching, the testimonials I've been watching. I was like, oh, you can like pray for him. And I thought, I was like, okay, how did he pray for him again? And I prayed a certain way, like the guy said. And I'm not saying this is the special way, but it was based off of like different principles that I had learned. And essentially, I basically said, like, God, like, if I done anything that's like displeasing, like, forgive me. Like, I cleaned my slate. I was like, I know there's abundant forgiveness. This is what the word says. So I'd like to be forgiven of whatever I've done. Known or unknown, forgive me. And I know he's faithful to forgive. That's, you know, or I believed it. It's a promise. Yeah. And so I was taking it by faith. And then I said, but also, I would also like to pray for this man, because I thought to myself, I said, this man's brain has been damaged by disease. Who knows the last time he's even prayed or asked for help
Had
or
the
anything.
consciousness to pray.
And so I thought to myself and I said, okay, I'm going to pray for this guy too. I said, can you also clean his slate?
Yeah.
Because I don't know the last time he prayed.
Yeah.
And he's suffering right now and I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So can you step in, whatever the unseen will do, step in and do what you see fit? And I said to him, I was specific. I was like, and this is the thing, I said this in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what was fascinating.
Yeah.
I said it in my head and I said, can your spirit of peace just rest upon this man? Just give him peace. Just relax him.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I was like, it doesn't matter disease, doesn't matter anger, resentment, whatever that's fueling his anger and suffering right now. I said, can you please step in for this man? Because I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then things got worse. And he
No
got
way.
even more mad. He got even more mad. And then he turns to me and it's like, I can't say anything right at this point. Like, everything is rubbish.
You can only do wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And dude comes up to my face and I was like, ooh, like,
you better
I'm
not.
gonna just wait for him to swing. But I was like, ooh, okay. I let it go. I let go of the outcome.
Yeah.
He comes up to my face right here. Dude's I'm breathing his carbon dioxide, bro. Okay, like smell like coffee and dragon breath. Okay, like, so, but dude is just like, he just eyes right in my face.
Yeah.
And they're blank. And I'm like, holy moly, this dude's not even there. And then his pupils are like, boom, big, and he's just in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, his fists are balled up, and dude's got bricks for hands, you know. Like, I got clocked by him, like, so he has bricks for hands, yeah. And he's only like 60s, you know. So he's relatively young, right?
Yeah.
Range of motion.
And plenty. And dude's in my face, just going like this, like, oh, grinding his teeth, like, in my face, and I'm just like, and then he just goes like this, and I see his shoulders shrug, and then he looks at me and he says, I'm at peace. And he walks away.
What? That's crazy.
And he just waddles away, like, does his little limp and walks away. And I'm just like, what the heck just happened, bro?
Like, I was bracing for impact.
Happened, bro? And that was like the catalyst for me to research this. And I actually have a lecture.
So fascinating.
I actually have a lecture on this in January.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a small lecture about this because to me it's like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I was just like, what did I just see? And that's not the only time something like that has happened, you know?
That before you carry on,
Yeah,
I just wanted to add to the power of prayer. I love that you brought that up because I never, like, early on I didn't really have a strong concept of that. Because, like, I think it's a Catholic belief that you can, like, do things after people die for them to help them get into heaven, like pray for them and all that.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, if they're already dead, that's useless, right? According to, like, our religion and, like, where we see, like, what the limits are and stuff, or like the windows for things. And I remember thinking, like, because they would teach us that they're like, when you pray to God, first you should the first two things you should always be conscious of is asking for forgiveness because you've done something wrong, and also showing appreciation. I remember one of our pastors would always go, 9 out of 10 prayers are asking for something. Nobody, it's more so rare for people to pray and be like, thank you, just to thank God for what they have. And the third part of that would be then you would pray for your loved ones, right? And that became like a practice of mine for a long time. I would pray for anything, like a test or something, forgiveness, and then I'd be like, look out for Wanga, look out for John, make sure my mama's good, like that. Those would be my prayers. And then in case I forgot somebody, I'd be like, and if anybody else of my family, friends, or loved ones need something, like, be with them. And I remember he started to teach me, like, the power of prayer. And from what I remember, it's always beautiful. God always appreciates, even if you're not in good standing, for just to give it a value, just to give it a point of reference, that you pray for other people. Like, it's important. It makes a difference. It's beautiful. But also, this is the part that, if I'm remembering correctly, that really excited me, is that God listens intently to those he favors. So, for example, let's say, like, one of his disciples or followers, if they pray for you, that has a lot of power and impact, because God is willing to, out of his love for them, to influence your life indirectly. So like, you could maybe not have a relationship with God, but because somebody like I or him or I have a relationship with him and we care about you and we have a good relationship with God and we're trying and all that, that God could then, you know what I mean? Like there's that influence, there's that like connection.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I would always feel very special when like he would pray for me. Like I would, like if I was ever worried about something, I'd be like, pray for me, you know, like, and I would even joke with him when we were in high school. I'd be like, God listens to you. I'd be like,
yeah, I don't know. I struggle to like buy that, you know, that it's like, oh, he's got his favorites. Like,
I don't
struggle with that.
But let me clarify. I don't think that it's like he's got his favorites. I, I think of it more so like it's just your relationship with God, because then it's not like a good or bad thing. It's like an intimacy, right? Like the more of a connection you have is the more you talk to him, the more you, right? Like in that way, it shows efforts, and it's not really a thing about works anymore. Because I don't know. I just feel like that's got to be something to that. You know what I mean? Like if somebody that's talking to God all the time prays for you, it's got to be
have
heard.
more value,
Or you know, I don't know. I just feel like
there's a passage that says like the prayer of a righteous man achieves a lot.
See,
And so,
but that's the feeling I was trying to explain.
But this is the thing: many people get a misconception that like you're righteous because you're doing right. But like if you look at like the different languages, like the Hebrew and the Greek,
how it translates,
you'll see that you'll understand that righteousness isn't, or right doing isn't necessarily
righteous.
You don't get righteousness because you do right things. It's a gift. It's a gift when you believe in Jesus. Like he's like he's like you get mine.
It's not based off of works.
Yeah,
it's your relationship with him. It's achieving that level of a relationship with him.
So I'll put it in these terms. I know I remember when you would say things like that, but I would say it this way. You and I are both beggars. I'm just showing you where the bread is.
I like that.
You know, like so in the same thing that I say, it's not anything special about me.
It's not like you have like some super divine authority.
Yeah,
it's
you have
like we're in the same boat.
My ego would love that. My ego would love that. Like you're stroking it right now, bro. You're stroking my ego real nice, like right now, but I have to call it out and say that. Bro, I'm busted and broken in maybe same or different ways that you guys are, but like that's the whole point of this narrative in which I see things. It's like, yeah, we're all busted, but like we can all be saved. Like we can all be rescued, not just from like, oh, damnation, but like right now, like hard relationships you're going through, like inner battles that you have, drug addiction, whatever addiction, like coffee addiction, like anything that you can, that there's somebody out there that you cannot see per se, you know, that cares. And that's honestly what I wanted to know. I was like, if there's somebody up there that cares for this man, help this man, you know, help me. And there's something about praying for other people. In my experience, people, like you said, like God listens to you. You're not the only person who's told me that. Like my housemate tells that. He's like, I prayed for years for this and to be rescued. And I got people like that are so upset when I share this. And he's like, what the hell did you do to be a favorite? And I was like, I'm not a favorite. Like I'm really not.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have an answer for him why what he was asking for was gotten. Like, you know, the story I was telling you the other day where I lost my drone in a river and I dived in my calzones and was there for 40 minutes searching. Like I was for sure that God was on my side because I was like pure of heart, did my little prayer thing, you know, like what I thought I needed as a prerequisite to appease or to appeal, you know, at the feet of the Almighty,
gain favor.
Right? Exactly. Like, and I'm not being sacrilegious. I'm just, you know, being silly about
That's
it.
where your mind was.
Yeah. But I went and I searched for 45 minutes until injury. Like I don't do so well in the cold and I was in super cold water, but I was like, noble cause, I will do it. I prayed, so I have faith I'm going to get it. I didn't get it. I didn't find it. Like there's many things that go unanswered.
Technically you did get
sure,
it though.
But I'm in that time. Like I didn't want it. Like I gave them specifics and everything. But that's the thing. Everyone is experiencing that. And so I don't have an answer for people who say like, I prayed for my mom not to die or whatever. And you let her die. Like we have a perspective that's so limited. You know, we don't know. There's so many things that we cannot control. And so for these people that come to me and tell me like, oh, like, no, it's not real because he hasn't answered me. Like, most of prayers for myself have not gone answered. They've been unanswered. The ones that get answered are when I pray for people. And so that's what I'm intrigued about, because I'm like, why is it that I ask you to pull me out of my problems, and it's almost like I get put in a little bit more, and the people I pray for secondly, they get like results. I see them get saved. Yeah. And so that's just something that I'm pondering. Like, why is it that when I pray for people, they get relief or they get rescuing, but I still feel like I'm in it, you know?
Have you considered, and again, I think it's so complicated, or it can be so complicated that it's not like, it's more gray than black or white.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
One of the first things I'm thinking of, I'll just start here, was that clip of Mike Tyson. Remember what he said? He goes, "Be careful what you wish for, because God might just give it to you to see if you can handle it." So I often think about that in a number of ways. You could say you want to be rich. You could say you want that job opportunity and all that, and you pray for it. Yeah. And maybe sometimes it's in your best interest, or you're not ready for it, that you don't get it now. Right? Like, imagine God wants to bless you really hard. If he gives it to you now, you'll squander it. So maybe he's allowing you time to be prepared for it. Yeah. Right? To not squander it. I feel like that can translate to a bunch of things, not just financial stability or material things. It could be things in your life. Maybe you're like saying, God, take this pain away. But pain is your teacher in this lesson. Yeah. So you're like, take the pain away. And he goes, okay, I'll take the pain away from you when you get through this lesson. And that might be why he puts you even deeper in what you're asking to be relieved of, because what you seek is on the other side of it, not around it. Through it, not around it. Yeah. So like, sometimes we ask for things and maybe logically they seem like the way things should go, but again, we could never understand God's will or his plan.
Yeah. Then there's many illustrations that you'll find in like all types of religious books, you know, especially like the Bible, but of like man being likened unto, you know, purifying gold. You know, to make something beautiful and pure, it has to be refined in a fire. And there's like a parable where it talks about that.
Hammered out of it.
Yeah, it talks about God being the refiner, which means like the guy who's kind of like molding it and like cleaning it, but it's under intense heat to be able to be malleable. Yeah, you know, to be able to be moved around and shifted and fashioned. And so
because it'll like, as far as like, what do they call it, smithing goes. Literally, that's how they purify some metals. Is like, I don't know if you remember the Blue-Eyed Samurai when they're making the sword. Yeah, he literally said that there's a science and an art to hammering out impurities, because if you take too many out, you make the sword brittle. If you leave too much, it's not the final product you want. But if you get it just right, the sword's strong and it's purified to a degree. Yeah. And so that's what happens when they bang it out, is like the different metals separate during that high heat friction situation.
Yeah. Okay, so unfortunately, we lost some footage. I thought I had been recording this whole time, but it's kind of unfortunate. It's okay though. We're just talking about like New Age spirituality, manifestation, intuition, you know, and I think that's all stuff that we can get into in another episode moving forward. But it's kind of late, tired. I gotta work early in the morning. I'm probably gonna run on 3 hours of sleep now. But that's okay. That's why I also brought up like, trying to find an intern, and I think I glossed over it too quickly. I want to explain that this is for somebody who can help me with like putting my podcast more out there, you know, by creating clips and helping me to edit stuff. And yeah, you know, kind of learn as we go together. Someone I could collaborate with, someone who's creative. And yeah, but I wanted to film this part because I needed an ending to this episode. Unfortunately, my other friend John wasn't able to join us for the end because he's really tired.
He was abducted by aliens.
But yeah, thankfully Gonzo was able to join me. Thanks for, I really appreciate you, bro. Like, one of my biggest supporters right here. But yeah, so if you have any questions, any insights, comment anything you found interesting, or something, your perspective on what your beliefs are, because I honestly love learning new things about this kind of stuff. So, but anyways, appreciate you for joining on and paying attention and listening all the way through. If you made it to this far, I appreciate it. So thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Peace out.